Welcome to Hat-Trick City on WXCI 91.7, Danbury's only all-hockey radio show.
I know that some in our audience don't know the finer points of hockey.
You want me to dummy you again?
Hat tricks, baby! Woo-hoo!
Before the start of this episode, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the unfortunate and tragic passing of former NHLer Adam Johnson. Passed away in a kind of a really just upsetting scene on the ice at an EIHL game, which is England's top hockey league. A sad event that really unfolded, and hopefully it's opening the eyes of some in terms of player safety, in terms of, maybe adding a few things. But again, just a really sad event, and our condolences here from Hat-Trick City go out to the family and friends of Adam Johnson, and we would like to dedicate this episode to him. So in honor of Adam Johnson, please enjoy this week's edition of Hat-Trick City. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of Hat-Trick City. I'm your host, DJ Patty Cake, here in the studio, solo dolo once again. It's a busy week here for DJ Uncle Matt, given that the Mustache Classic will be happening this Saturday. It'll be going from about 9 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. That'll be followed by the Rangers alumni game and by the Hat-Tricks game against Binghamton that night, which is also Military Appreciation Night. Yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed weekend, but before we get into that, quickly want to talk about last weekend. Championship rematch weekend at home for the Hat-Tricks. Ended up splitting the series with Carolina, at least the weekend series, with a 4-2 loss on Friday, followed by a 2-1 win on Saturday. And for being honest, Saturday was the game to be at for quite a few reasons, and I'd say arguably the biggest one being Daniel Amesbury getting the game-winning goal. That goal was a crazy goal. I mean, if you watch that video back, it's just a cluster at the net of, our guys and Carolina's guys and their goaltender trying to stop the puck, but it was live the entire time. They ended up being able to push it in, and the last guy to touch it was Ames. So by default, he got the game winner, which obviously it gave us a 2-1 lead in that game that we were able to hold until the very end, which is monumental. I believe that's actually his third goal with the Hat-Tricks total. First on the season, his third with the Hat-Tricks, which is insane to me. And I believe I've been in the building for all three. And I remember the first one in Binghamton, which we'll talk about again later with our very special guest this week, Jarod Yau. So I won't talk about it too much here, but it was just such a blur to me that I couldn't even believe that it happened. That's how fast it happened the first time. But overall, this Carolina team, they had some bite in them, especially Friday night. It showed. We didn't play our best hockey, but Saturday night we came to take names, and I say that's what we did. It was a tight game between the two goalies of Mario for the Thunderbirds and Connor McCullum for the Hat-Tricks. So very interesting weekend. Also, Kevin Lake made his first pro start on a Friday night. Obviously not the way that he might have wanted it to go, but I think he looked good out there. Definitely this goalie duo is going to be a dangerous one. It's giving me kind of flashbacks to what Willie and McClendon were to this team in years past. So I'm excited to see how these two kind of work things out in terms of, going back and forth. But again, it was a great weekend of games, and I'm excited for this weekend, which also this Friday, You'll be seeing the Hat Tricks take on the Watertown Wolves in Watertown, 7:30 start. Based off of the past 2 games, I mean, so far we're 1-1 with them, and obviously we're 0-1 at their barn. But I think we kind of figured them out a little bit more, the last time. And given there's new goaltenders, on the squad, I think it'll add to how this game might go. So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm definitely going to be watching this one from home, and it's going to be an interesting night to say the least. Then Saturday night, we'll be playing against Binghamton once again. It'll be the 3rd time, so hopefully we can improve to the overall season of 2-1 against Binghamton. Again, a rough team to play, our rival team, I would say. Again, but it's going to be good hockey on Saturday, especially considering the fact that we also had the Mustache Classic, the 5th consecutive year of the Classic, happening this Saturday at Danbury Arena. I know Matt might have had some better words than I'm about to have. I'm given they'll be good words, but I'm sure, that Matt, with his passion and the flair that he has and the amount of care and thought he puts into this event, it amazes me that he's able to do this every year. And, he always tells me about how there's this, like so many components that go into this event that most people don't even realize, which is crazy. But at the same time, it's all for a good cause, which currently the Mustache Classic team has raised over $13,000 at the time of this recording. So if you want to go ahead and donate to that cause, we'll have a link in our bio. Again, it's for men's mental health and cancer prevention, or more awareness. So it's a cause that I stand by greatly, and this is my 2nd year contributing to an event that helps said cause. So any little amount can help. I have a Mo space on there. I'll link it on my personal. And again, if you go on our link in bio on the Hat Trick City page, it'll take you to the whole team donation form if you want to donate to an individual or the whole team. It's all up to you. You can donate to me. You can donate to some of our fellow participants of the Classic. So again, that'll be this Saturday from 9 a.m. till about a little half past noon. So it's going to be a great event. I know we'll have Kerry Frazier, NHL referee, reffed about 2,000 plus games in the show. So he'll be there reffing the games, and it's going to be a fun weekend. We'll also have the boys from Club 93 there. They'll be playing in it. So it's going to be a fun weekend, to say the least. And yeah, I mean, that's all from me. However, I do want to bring up one more thing. Our fan, one of the fans of the show and of the Hat Tricks, Ed Brewy, amazing guy, legend, I'd say. Before this weekend with Carolina, he made a form. It's a very official looking form. We'll have it posted on our social media for you guys to take a look at. It's probably one of the best chirps I've seen in a while. It's definitely a lucrative one, to say the least. Lucrative and just very creative. I'll read a few things off on here, but again, this will be on the Hat Trick City pages on Instagram and Facebook for everyone to look at and laugh at and just enjoy. Again, credit to Ed Brewy for making this. It's a hurt feelings report. It says here, for use of this form, see FPHL rulebook. The proponent agency is fan support, and it's all made super official. I mean, it asks for winer's name, jersey number, their age, type of wine used, and then obviously the incident report. So it says date, feelings were hurt, time of hurtfulness, things such as that, and the reason for filing. That's arguably the best part. I'll read 3 of my favorites so I don't spoil too much of it, but one of them being opposing team's enforcer looked at me. The fans are making too much noise with air horns, sirens, and megaphones. And I gotta say, I think this is definitely my favorite, Section 102. Again, Ed Rui, the legend, for writing this. It's a crazy document. Again, we'll have this posted on the Hat Trick City page, and if you want to share it to other teams or whoever, I'm not gonna specifically say to encourage you to do that, but if you'd like to, I won't stop you. That's what I will say on my piece from that. But once again, we'll be heading into this episode. We got a great interview set up here with Jarod Yau. He's back, spent a little time in the SP, came back down to us a few weekends ago, so it's going to be nice to hear from him once again. It's been a while, so enjoy the interview with Jarod Yau.
This is Danbury Hockey Superfan, Postal Joe Trench. You're listening to Hat Trick City Radio on WXCI 91.7 Danbury. Hat Tricks, baby! Woohoo!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hat Trick City. I'm your host, DJ Patty Cake, and this week we're joined by Jarod Yau. He's back, and he's doing great, I assume. Jarod, how are you doing? Let me ask you personally.
I'm doing great. Back in Danbury. Playing in front of the best fans in the world for sure. Like, nothing compares to our barn when it's packed.
For sure. I mean, the last part from, when I last saw you personally was a little right after the championship. So, what has Jarod Yau been up to this past summer?
Well, it wasn't all partying like you might think. Yeah, as soon as I got home, I was back working electrical, just working the trades, trying to get some money up and training. That's pretty much it. I actually got the opportunity to fly to I flew to Ottawa, met up with Tobias Ojic. Then we drove down to Wheeling, West Virginia, to catch a Amesbury's Rough and Rowdy fight.
Oh, nice.
And that was pretty sweet. The boys showed up. Like, we had I think it was me, Oj, Marsh, Coos, J-Mac, Robo, and then we had Richie there too from earlier in the year.
Yep.
We partied hard there for sure.
I saw from the post. I mean, I feel bad. I was supposed to actually go to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just the main thing, I had like a travel issue because then like the next day I would have to be like on a plane to Arizona. So it was like kind of like a close call because I was going to drive.
Yeah.
And then just drive back. And even Ames is like, that's a stupid move. But if you do it,
would have been a long journey.
I mean, I guess given the outcome, I mean, it's not a bad thing that I didn't go, but I mean, obviously it could have went more in his favor. I don't know. What was your take on that fight, how it went?
I think it was an early stoppage. Like, maybe he stumbled, but like he was still ready to go. Like,
I know. I think
we've all seen him fight. Like, this guy can bang with anyone.
Yeah, I think he could have went a little longer in that fight, but I don't know if it was just like they couldn't let him be undefeated for that long or something.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with those politics, but it was a good event to go to. Like, I think Rough and Rowdy puts on a great event.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a Four Loko drinker, but if you like Four Loko, any flavor you want's there.
Oh, really?
Well, like, yeah, I went up to a cooler to I was looking for a beer.
Yeah.
And I peeked my head in, and it's just like there are 8 different flavors of Four Loko, and it's like, I want to remember tonight though. Still.
yeah. I mean, if that's your thing and you just don't even care about the place you're at, just go for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you signed with Macon in the SP. What happened there?
It was really just a numbers thing. They get it's like the NHL trickle down effect.
Mm-hmm.
Guys go down to the A, guys from the A go down to the East Coast, and then the East Coast guys go down to the SP, and then the SP guys go down to the Fed. So it's kind of just like trickle down effect. Like, we had 7D come down from the East Coast, and he was only keeping like 6 or 7. So like, it was pretty much written on the wall.
Yeah, go figure. I mean, did you at least enjoy your time there?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Like, nice sunny weather, like all year round. Like, it's way different than Vancouver for sure. Getting to be in shorts, t-shirt, going to the rink. I don't think you can beat that.
No, you can't. I mean, just that whole thing with the SP too. It's just, I imagine it's nice for the guys that can just go down and just enjoy the weather.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, sure with the Northeast, it's kind of, it adds to the vibe with all the coldness and the snow and all that, but I'm sure that gets tiresome after a while, especially having to drive in it and, you know.
Take some wear on the car, too.
Yeah, exactly. And then you guys can just pull up to the beach.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean.
Well, Georgia wasn't.
I was going to say Georgia's not.
We didn't really have, like, I think if you go over to Savannah, Georgia, that's more on the coast.
Side. Yep.
But Macon's more in the middle, so.
Okay.
Like, it was still, like, super nice. Like, there's hiking trails around. We had free golf there, so if I was there longer, like, we could have golfed our asses off.
Some golf. That's great. I mean, know a lot of the boys like golfing, so I mean that would have been.
Oh
tight.
yeah, I think it's just a hockey guy thing. Like I think everyone who plays hockey golfs a little bit at least.
A little bit. I gotta get into golf. Are you a good golfer?
Well, I'm better than J-Mac at golf, that's for sure. I want that to be a fact, but like I'm very hit or miss. Sometimes I'll hit a nice shot. Sometimes I'm putting it through the trees or at someone.
Or at someone?
Yeah, one time, like last year, I was golfing and was teeing up for the driver.
Yeah.
Went for it, like I was trying to destroy the ball, and my driver went flying into the trees.
You put all that effort into that swing?
Yeah, yeah. Didn't go my way.
No. So wait, did the driver just went through the trees?
It went into the trees, like super high up, and then eventually came crashing down. But I got worried for a second. We were losing a driver.
Oh my god! Was it your own or was it?
It was Tobias's. I brought my clubs up this year though, so that didn't happen.
Well, I mean, at least it didn't break. I think I would have been more worried if that broke because those things can be expensive too. They're like sticks.
Yeah. Well, they're more expensive than sticks actually. Like unless you're buying a used driver, like a brand new driver's like $800 to like $1,400. Like they're expensive.
That's the one thing that's going to stop me from playing golf is $800 per
But like for a beginner, you don't need those clubs. Like
no,
unless you're like a pro, really, like
exactly.
or like getting close to hit an even. Like you don't need it. Like you just need a pair of clubs to go out, have some fun, have a couple beers with the boys, and I think that's more what it's about. Just it's like it's not too hard on the body. You get to relax a bit, have a couple beers, chill, like ride the golf carts, rest the legs a little.
Exactly. Now, I kind of want to jog your memory just a little bit with the championship because I know it's been a while since we spoke. I mean, what do you remember from that OT?
Oh, I remember throwing up before the OT. It was something like that's like literally kind of what you dream of, Game 5, Game 7 type thing. Like going into OT, it's do or die. Like the thing stories are made of, and I was nervous, like crazy nervous to be honest. And then after that, it was kind of just a blur. Like once you get on the ice, you're just playing. Like you revert to your old habits, like what you like work on in practice when you're tired, or just play hockey. Really, like try not to focus about like what's on the line, because once you do, you're just gripping the stick way too tight.
Yeah.
But like that was like one of a lifetime experience, and the way the fans were and how loud that rink was, like I don't think I've ever been in an arena. Even like I go to Canuck games all the time when I'm back home, and like we have a loud barn, but like Danbury, I couldn't even hear the guy next to me. Like I think like everyone in there lost some hearing.
I know. I definitely had like my ears ringing for like a few days after that. It was wild, but I enjoyed it though.
Yeah, like we had Billy like in the TV timeouts drawing up all this face-off play. I can't hear a word he's saying. I'm just like, yeah, coach, I got you.
I know. I think he was saying that he was just yelling at some point. He just yelled the play out and just be like, "This is what we're gonna do." I mean, boy, that really takes it back though. Just the sound of that building was. I couldn't even like. I'm in the box too, and so you think with the glass would be a little. No, it's the same.
It was electric, like just like absolutely electric. Couldn't like I don't even have words to describe how amazing the fans were for that weekend or the whole year. Like the way they support us is just second to none.
And then do you remember seeing that that puck just slowly cross through?
Unfortunately, I had just gone off the ice and I was hunched over because I was panting. But I've seen the replay enough.
Yeah, so you've seen it on replay. I was going to say.
And then
I
think a fan whoever it was caught a great video of like it was up in the crowd like around 102 and like you just see the place erupt when that goal goes in, and it's just like it gives you chills literally like just watching it.
No, I know, every time I'm just like, wow, that happened. That really happened. And I remember just like seeing that go, and I was like, wait, where's the puck? And then I see it kind of go through, and then I just pound my hand on the fucking horn, and I was like, we're gonna ride this shit for a little while, boys. It's got to be done. Oh my God. I mean, again, congrats. That was, oh my God, the fucking work you guys put in for that, and the payoff was just amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's not accomplishable without the guys we had in the room, the coaching staff we had on the bench, and the fans. Like, our barn is the hardest barn to play in the Fed, hands down. I think any other team would agree. Like, people don't like coming to Danbury, and we love playing in Danbury, so it works out for us.
I mean, I remember, I think it was Kirkby. He had like said before Binghamton's elimination game that they have to block out the noise.
Can't block out the noise here.
That was so funny. I think I sent that to Calvin, that post, and then when we won that game, we threw it up on the board. We're like, yeah, block out the noise, right? But, and another thing I wanted to bring up, last weekend, prior to this one that we just had with Binghamton, that was your first game back, right?
That was my first game. The one at home was the first, and then we went on the road.
I mean, how was that to come back into a game that ended in a shootout win?
It was interesting. I would have liked to dummy them a little more. Don't like Binghamton at all, but it was a good game. Boys came together. We ended up getting that one, and unfortunately, Saturday night didn't go our way. But we'll be back. We play them Saturday, and they're in for one there.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a chippy season with them. I mean, considering we have to play them 15 more times.
Yeah, it's like
17 times total, and then we already played them twice, so it's like
a little too much of Binghamton, but
no, I'm sure that'll just add to it though, because it's just gonna be who can win like the in-season series, So I mean that'll get chippier and chippier as it goes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bloodbath.
And one thing I saw that I just wanted to talk about with you, I wanted to get your kind of opinion on. You're familiar with this Travis Ridgen guy, right?
Yeah, I know who he is. I know who he is.
Did you see about his first start?
No, I didn't even know he starts. I thought he was just a full-time backup.
That's what I thought too, but they started him
6, 7.
2. Apparently the second one was a soft one, and then they pulled him.
Yeah, I haven't blocked on everything. I can't stand that guy.
You haven't blocked?
Well, because I just hate when his stuff pops up on my Instagram or any feed I have. I just can't stand anything he says, does, or.
I know. Going through the comments of that, I mad people are just like, don't listen to him. I tell my kids that I train, don't listen to him.
And I think he's 6'4".
Yeah, he's.
How can you be that bad? Like, how do you have that many holes? That's just the one thing I don't understand.
I mean, I got to talk to him after the game we had with them the weekend before you got there. It was an awkward interaction only because I made it awkward by mistake. I just just introduced myself because we had been texting or whatever, prior to that. And then I go and I'm like, hey, what's up? How was your time in Danbury after they just lost 5-2? And he's like, well, I mean, you can kind of, I'm like, no, I mean, besides that, the ride and everything, how was that? I tried to salvage it as much as I could, but I was like, yeah, I definitely just kind of fuck that dude's day up like that.
He does have one podcast that I liked. It was when he had Ian White on.
Oh, that was a good episode.
I found that interesting just because Whitey played in the NHL and then in our league, so it's kind of cool to see that.
He's in the coast now, right?
Yeah, he's in the coast now. I think he's in Norfolk. I think he actually just got named their assistant captain. But I wouldn't. I'd fact check that.
Should I fact check it right now, or should I leave it?
We can leave it for
now.
now.
I was gonna say we'll leave it. We'll leave it. Yeah, and then next weekend you got a few. What is it? It's Friday. You guys are on the road.
Yeah, we're in Watertown Friday night, and then we're playing Binghamton Saturday night here in our barn.
This Watertown team seems to have a little bit more of a better mindset than it did last year. What have you boys been kind of working on? I know this will be your first time playing them this season. Anything in mind for that game?
I haven't seen any of Watertown really, so I don't know what they're looking like. But we've been really hounding and like hammering down our forecheck and us hunting pucks because we're just trying to get back to Danbury hockey. Pretty much, other than that, it's just typical practices, just hard work day in day out. Like I think we're probably one of the best coach teams, like easily in the league. So the way Billy prepares us, like we're ready for anything.
Exactly. And then I just want to talk about this very quickly because this guy has, amazed me in his few starts. McCollum.
Ooh, MC. That's what we call him.
MC. Oh, I love that. I love that. When he comes on the show, we'll have to address him that way. Yeah, how is he in the locker room? Is he kind of like more dialed in? Is he kind of like a boys guy?
He's not your typical goalie, Like goalies typically, I find, kind of hang out on their own.
Yeah.
And like to be by themselves, dial it in. But he's for the boys. Like he's always shooting the shit, always talking. Like he's good. He's nice and vocal. Same with Laker too. Our other.
Yeah.
They're both very, very for the boys and both very vocal, which is crazy helpful as a defenseman. Like coming back for the puck, sometimes we don't always see what's going on, and having our goalie like help us out and yell at us because he's got the full ice view. So it's unreal having two vocal goalies.
I mean that just shows, the talent that we sign is just fucking immaculate every time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then this was Kevin's first weekend, right?
Yeah, this was Kevin's first weekend.
I mean, how was he? Is he kind of the same way, or is he a little bit more just kind of hanging out and then, more dialed in?
I think, both obviously on game days, both goalies just dial it in.
Yeah.
But they both were they're just themselves, like they shoot the shit, they hang with they're just great guys. Like,
yeah.
They're just great teammates, great guys. Like, couldn't really ask for two better goalies.
Exactly. And then over the summer, want to ask because I know you're a little bit of a baseball guy, right? Like,
yeah, I follow baseball.
Did you go to any games over the summer or no?
Actually, on the way back after we won the chip,
yeah,
I had to drive back home, obviously from Danbury to Vancouver.
You drove?
Yeah. So that was a little bit of.
Hold on, we got to get into that first. What did you drive?
I drive a Infiniti QX4.
What kind of mileage does that get?
You mean like for the tank?
Yeah.
I go I don't know miles, but I go like about 500 kilometers per tank when I'm highway driving.
Right. Oh shit! American moment. I gotta fucking be the one going, "What's mileage?" No, okay. I mean, I'll take your word for it and say that. Is that good?
It's good for my car. Like
okay.
I think the newer cars do better, but it's older than I am. It's a 97.
Okay. I mean, that's what brand is that? It's
Infiniti. So it's like the
it's Infiniti.
It's the luxury model of Nissan.
I missed that. I thought you said something else. No, I missed that. That's on me. So how long was that drive? Did you make any stops? You had to.
Yeah, I had to because technically it's 48 hours straight. So that's no stopping for gas, no food. Like that's you just
impossible.
Going.
So like maybe
we did it in. So like we technically did it in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my girlfriend at the time.
Yep.
And then we got to Seattle by like the third day, and then hung out in Seattle for 2 days, caught a game there, which that was cool. I ended up catching a ball.
Oh, sick.
It wasn't from the play though.
Oh.
I got it after the game.
Hey, it's still a nice souvenir though. Those,
Well, anytime anyone sees it, I caught a line drive. That's what I'm telling.
A line drive, nice. Yeah, and then leading into my next question, have you been following the World Series a little bit?
Yeah, I was. I don't think I was rooting for either of the teams who made it there, but good on them. I think the Rangers are stacked, and then the D-backs came out of nowhere. I feel like,
Yeah.
I think they were like 40 and like 100 last year or something.
Yeah, they weren't
very good, and then they're in the World Series now.
exactly. I mean, I don't know, from kind of the early beginning to the season, I've been kind of pulling on D-backs. I've been thinking they'd make it. I don't know if they'll win it, but
They have a good chance. The Rangers just suffered 2 big injuries last game with Scherzer and Adrales, Garcia.
So,
Garcia's a big one for them to lose.
That's
Because Scherzer can only play like 1 every 3 games or whatever. So like they still do got good pitchers. They got Evaldi, Heaney, got some good guys. So like I think the pitching will be fine, but Adrales, like that guy's been clutch for them.
I know.
Like that walk-off homer in the bottom of the 11th or whatever it was.
yeah.
That's an electric moment. You can't beat something like that.
No, that's crazy. And then, I mean, especially with them kind of giving Creed more of a platform now.
Yeah.
They're like kind of helping with the comeback a little. I mean, with that being said, who do you have and how many games?
Ooh, I think I am going to go with underdog. I don't know if there are underdogs on the book, but I think D-backs in 7. I think it's going 7.
Good man. I think the same. I mean, have you seen like the parallels between this and like the last time they were in the series?
No, I haven't actually.
It's like all the same. Like that year when Randy Johnson was still with them, remember he hit that bird?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Someone did that this year for them. A pitcher hit a bird. There's like a few other lists of things that happened this year that were also the same thing that happened on that team. And then like whatchamacallit? Then like the thing with like George Bush. He threw out the first pitch at the first game. He threw out a first pitch, the game 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, everyone's just drawing every parallel that they can.
I think Arizona needs something to go good for them in sports at least.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, the Coyotes kind of look decent. I don't know if that's...
They are looking... They just stomped the Blackhawks last night. Like
8-1. I mean... yeah, that lone goal from Bedard.
The Blackhawks aren't good, but they didn't lose that bad to Boston, Colorado, any of those teams.
They beat Vegas.
They beat Vegas, and then they get stomped by Arizona.
I don't know. I think Arizona has something this year that
I think
Cooley.
they can. Cooley's looking good.
Cooley's great.
I think Cooley wins Calder. Nothing against Bedard, but I just think Cooley's
I could see that.
Gross.
No, I could definitely see that. And that was another thing too. I actually went to Arizona over the summer.
Oh, nice.
I caught a D-backs game over there.
Sweet.
It was against the Reds. They ended up beating them. I think it was like 10-8. Some big game. It was like my nephew's first game, so I took him over there because he lives over there now. So never been to a ball game. So I was like, well, let's do this. Why not? It's cheap enough. And then I was able to skate over there. I had to. There was no way. Yeah, so I went to their arena, and their arena kind of has like a similar setup to ours, where there's a pro rink and then like an extra rink. So like I skated on like their practice rink. And it was funny because it was me and my girlfriend that went, and then like the other people that skated were all figure skaters. There's like one other hockey guy who just kind of was there fucking around, and he just had like his earbuds and he's just fucking around. Dude, and then like this one kid comes out, he's like 8 years old. Great at figure skating. I was like, how the fuck?
It's a weird thing to get into.
Dude, I mean, I don't know, just that always like that never ceases to amaze me. Is like how these young kids can be so good at that. Like at like 8 years old, or I don't know how old this kid was, but he was like probably the height of this table that we're talking at right now, and he's just pulling out all these moves, and I'm like, how the hell? Like,
I can't even do that, and I skated my whole life.
I'm like, bro, you just like started to learn how to walk like 2 years ago. How are you doing this? You know what I mean? No, but that place is nice. I would like to catch a game there. It's just the timing with what I have up here, and then the prices for those games are just they're wild.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. NHL games are expensive to go see.
Yeah, I mean, like Islander games, that's what I usually do. They're not too bad for price, but it's like with these, I guess it's like there's no other experience like it in the league. It's kind of like our rink, right?
Yeah.
Everything's very close. You're very all in the action, no matter where you set. It's kind of the same thing there, which it's sick to have, but at the same time, they shouldn't.
A little pricey, especially with all those college kids going.
Oh my god! No, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's where the money is out in Arizona for stuff like that.
Well, like Vancouver's tickets are ridiculous too. It just really depends on what game you're catching, kind of. Like if we're playing McDavid,
it's going to be expensive.
It's like $500 for bad tickets, but like if we're playing like Anaheim, you can get them for like $80.
Yeah.
So it really varies depending on who they're playing.
No, that goes for like all teams. Mostly, it's whoever else is on the ice and how much of a draw that really has to the sales. I don't even know, dude. But Vancouver kind of looks good this year.
Yeah, they actually beats their like 0-10 start last year. I was the one last year claiming they're coming to win the cup this year. And then they started 0-10, so I didn't come in saying that this year, but they're looking better. I think I think they're making right moves finally, not signing terrible contracts as much. They're making trends, and I think they have one of the best coaching staffs in the NHL for sure.
As we're recording this, it's Halloween, so I know last year we kind of had our questions with gas station snacks and other kinds of things like that, so I got to ask, favorite candy?
Snickers.
Yeah,
I'm a chocolate guy. I don't do actual candy too much. I don't like when it gets stuck in my teeth.
Okay. Oh, you mean like the gummies and stuff like that? Yeah.
Like I'll just stick with chocolate and a glass of milk.
Hey, I mean that's the way to go, especially Snickers. That's a full meal.
Snickers, you're not you if you're hungry.
You know what? I also wanted to mention this just briefly to you because it was kind of funny. I think it was this past Friday. You scored a goal, but the refs, when they came over, they said 14.
They did?
They did, and we were like, he wasn't even on the ice. What are they talking about? So we ended up like changing that and gave it to you. But the ref was 14
I can't trust the refs in the Fed.
No, oh my God. The refs in like the NAL or whatever, or the NA3, they were like just as bad. They were like giving out wrong. This was NA3. This is the same game as Sunday. They were all just wrong numbers and whatever. We'd have to like correct it on our own.
I don't blame them for like the second assist because like that's hard sometimes.
Oh, second assist is rough, but
like if you kind of got to get the goal scorer.
I mean, and then he actually scored the next night, so it made up for that. That was
that was something.
That was a wild. Were you on for that?
Yeah, I was on for that. It was a yard sale in front of the net.
Yeah, so I know there was a big just commotion, and at least from my view, I'm like, what kind of did you see from that? Because I know you guys were just pushing in, and it was...
Well, like, I passed up to Ratty, and then Ratty passed up to Ames, who was driving hard through the middle, and, like, he got a shot off, and then it rebounded to him, and he actually almost batted that in on his backhand while he was falling down, and the goalie made a good save with his toe.
Yeah.
And then the puck was just loose the whole time, and, like, goalie's on his back, their players are all over top of him. We had... Like, everyone was in the crease. Like, all 10 guys were in that crease. Like, there was no one, like, I even came down from the blue line. Like, everyone was in, it was a yard sale in front of the net. I think by the time the goal went in, the goalie didn't even have his helmet on anymore.
No, he didn't. It was wild. And then, did he dislodge the net on his own, or was
that was to Cody Gibbs.
Former guy. I mean, yeah, did you guys, like, kind of talk at all?
I don't talk to... I don't talk to most of the ex-players just because I'm there to play a game.
I was going to say, no.
We can talk after.
That's what I'm saying, like, after the fact, not during. But, I'm sure he's a good guy. I know.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Never really got to know him, unfortunately. We one-on-one the show, but
yeah,
just how things worked out. I mean, I don't know. He was making some decent plays from behind the net, stuff like that. But that goal was crazy. I mean, from where I'm at, I already have a bad sight line, so already trying to figure out what happened is, like, impossible.
Yeah, I don't even, like, the way they got the assist on that is beyond me. Like, just, it's a cluster in front of the net, and everyone's just banging at it.
I honestly thought they were going to wave it off after the net dislodged, but I saw the ref just going with his arm, so I was like, okay. I just went because
I think it was just because the puck was never covered. Like, I could see it the whole time in between guys' feet, and like it was never covered. Maybe I could have seen him just because the goalie's helmet fell off, and I don't know if that happened before it actually went in the net or not. But
it was like slightly after.
Yeah, so like there's nothing really, like the net was on when the puck went in.
Yeah.
Like when you watch the video, because we watched the video on the goal.
Yeah.
And like the net's on when the puck goes in. The only thing I could have seen was like goalies' helmets off, but luckily they didn't call nothing on it.
No, I don't know. I think it was a little late when that happened anyway, so that wouldn't have mattered. But
yeah.
It's always funny to just see the Carolina fans after the fact, and they're all, oh, "Where's the interference? Oh, where's the?" Because after that, like, it was all their own guys pushing you guys in anyway, so the interference wouldn't have counted.
Well, they had like 3 of their own guys on top of their goalie.
Exactly. So they screwed themselves over. If we're really like getting down with it, it's they screwed themselves over.
Just don't let Ainsbury go to the net.
Oh my God. Wow. So I think I've been in the building for all 3 of his goals with us. Every single time. I think one of them was in Binghamton.
Yeah, that was a crazy one. I remember we're in practice and he's just shooting it off the corner glass, like trying to get it banked toward the net, and I skate up to him like, there's no way you're going to score that man in the game. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, just watch. And sure enough, like he's skating over the red and he just hammers one from like right about the dot, right off that corner glass, and somehow that thing found its way in.
That was so quick when that happened. I didn't even it didn't register that it was him, and then they announced it and I was like, what?
I think that was his first goal of the season too.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my God. That was wild. That man.
We got the monkey off the back earlier this year.
Yeah, there you go. Against the right team.
Oh yeah.
Especially that probably pissed him off even more that he scored the goal.
Oh yeah. Heard he's becoming a point guy this year.
Yeah. What are we taking the over on? 5?
5 points. I give him. I think he hits 10.
It's 10. 10 points.
Couple assists, couple goals.
Yeah.
Get up there.
He just needed 1 assist that game, and he would have got a Gordie Howe hat trick.
Yeah, I almost had one on Friday night too. I needed an assist to get the Gordie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Both did. That's so crazy that they named that after him, and he's only done it 3 times.
Yeah, like I didn't realize that until like super late. Like I thought like he used to do that all the time.
Neither did I. And then that stat came out, or like I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's great.
It's weird how they named it after him.
I know, but I think it's all like a legacy thing.
Yeah,
right.
He is Mr. Hockey.
That's what I'm saying. So it's fitting to name it after him, even though if you look at his stats, he's only done that 3 times, which is even crazier to me because when he was playing, fighting was way more common.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure. So I feel like he could have done that like every night if he really tried, or wanted
probably.
To.
Coach probably didn't want him fighting.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the Red Wings signing him for like a bonus, that's a jacket. That's I don't think guys are gonna give the extra mile.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, before I wrap things up with you again, thanks for coming in the studio. Apologies on getting here today. A little mishap on my end. What do you want to tell the fans going into this weekend?
Be ready for a show because we're coming ready to put on a show for sure, and we're taking no prisoners. Like especially when we come into our barn, it's our barn. We don't give up anything lightly. And then when we go into other people's barn, it becomes our barn by the end of the night.
I love that. That's great. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Jarod Yau. Thank you, Jarod, for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.